Hello and welcome to the Bellcast, episode 12. Now we're official. Mike, how are you?
Doing well, Lorenzo. How are you doing today?
I'm pretty loud, I just noticed, but that was the intro, so that's okay. I gotta lean in. Where were you yesterday?
I was at NJTC at the Venture Conference up at NJIT.
There's a lot of acronyms there.
There's a lot of acronyms there. No, it was a good event. Lots of startups there. I was just telling Ken on the way in, it's amazing when you see startups, how many different spaces they're in. You know, there was a wearable for blind people beside me that was helping with that, and then you have someone doing wind turbines over here, VR over here.
Wind turbines?
Yeah.
Oh, hopefully nobody got cancer.
Yeah, that's a new thing.
Yeah, right. Well, you know, just keeping it covered so people know when we're talking.
But yeah, no, it was a great event, and it was cool to see the innovation happening here in New Jersey, and a little pitch competition, 90-second pitch, which we didn't win.
I was going to say, did you partake? Yeah.
We did, yeah, there's 40 companies, and we didn't win, so if you're not first, you're last, so I came a little disappointed away from that. But,
So did you come in last?
well, we didn't come in first, so
Right.
I guess we came in last, yes.
Such an alpha male attitude. Okay, well, you know what? But you got, how many pitches have you done in the past year?
Oh man, that's a good question, I should count, maybe.
That many?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't even know
You don't see the bags under my eyes? You don't
Seasoned
see
pro.
these?
I wear glasses so you can see the bags under my eyes.
That's the life of
90-second pitch?
Yes, there was a 90-second pitch, yeah.
Why did they do that? Is it just because it's cool?
No, I think part of it is if you can't explain your product or your solution in less than 90 seconds,
Yeah.
it's probably too complicated, or you don't know.
I think it's because people think it's
It
cool.
was,
I'm not blaming. You know.
But there's also 40 companies, so 40 companies pitching. We could, if you did a half-hour pitch, that wouldn't quite work.
No, I wouldn't suggest a half hour, but 5 minutes is fair.
Yeah, but it was good. You're on stage in front of maybe 60 investors.
You have layers too, so 90 seconds is not enough for you.
Yeah.
If you remember last episode, we
The
decided
onion.
I have
You're
layers.
the onion.
Yes.
Build you back a little bit.
Yes. Yeah. So I had to top line it. I think okay.
Kevin's here.
I am here.
He's the cameraman.
Yeah. Speaking of bags under the eyes, we are live here from the NPZ studio, the design lab here at Bell. We've got a new setting for those of you that are going to be watching on YouTube. Your camera position, new setting, so we're livening things up a little bit.
You see what Kevin did? He
You
wore a
want
jacket. He wore a jacket.
I was just
did.
picking up on that. You know what else I realized? When he talks the first 5 seconds, he just knows that I'm going to say something
Yes.
about something. Like you have your communion shoes on and you're all spiffy, and, right?
I do.
You do. See, and you put the camera right on him. By the way, we're on
It's
YouTube.
on the guest.
We're on
right?
YouTube. The
On the
videos are on
guest.
YouTube. Yes, well, I understand that. We haven't introduced the guest yet, but if you're watching on YouTube, you'll notice there's a fourth person here. Hi, Kelly.
Hello.
How are you? Gliatta?
Yes, very good.
Oh, yeah. It's an immigrant thing. You are with WorkWave
I am.
Okay.
Indeed.
since 1999.
Yes. Coming up on 20
See, actually,
years.
I shame these guys all the time. They give me all these details and I go on. Anyway.
So we give a background and we think he doesn't respond.
I
And
don't
we think that he's not reading
It's
them.
gone
No.
nowhere.
No, he's there. He's studying. He's lying awake.
I believe you won an award in 2016.
Look at this guy.
Whoa.
Dazzling.
Okay.
Wow.
Mic drop if you could see it.
Yes.
Welcome, Kelly. Welcome.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
I mean, we can start all the way back at the beginning, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, almost 20 years, right? So, tell us,
I feel old saying that.
First off, that's the very strange thing, nowadays, to be at a company for 20 years is, it's some feat.
It's rare to pull off, and it's funny too because I don't feel like I've been at the same company for 20 years. There were only about 15 of us when I started, and we're at about 280 something now.
Oh,
So.
wow.
So we were in a house. We were literally out of a house working 2 stories, and the bedroom was converted to a conference room. So it was truly a house. Actually, right in Ocean Township, so not too far. So when you're really small, it's everybody's wearing 20 hats, and you're doing tons of stuff. And my business card actually said sales/support. And you did everything.
Jack of all trades.
Totally. It was like actually wear many hats was the title. So, and you did a little bit of everything. You helped demo the software to clients, you helped them convert their data, you supported them, you helped write release notes, tested the software. It was a total mixed bag, which was fun, And then as we got bigger, then it was, you could focus in one area, which is like, wow, I could just focus on one section of the company. But yeah, it's been this amazing journey from this small, local New Jersey startup to now this global company.
So explain for listeners what WorkWave does, and you said, explaining the software and things like
Yeah,
that.
my 90 second.
We have the timer right here.
Oh God, the pressure. Well, I'll give you the kind of formal version and then the the more basic version. So the formalized version is that we have SaaS software, mobile software, and marketing services that we provide to field service and logistic companies to help them run their business better. So shorter version, if you're a lawn care company or pest control company, you need software to run your business, keep track of your technicians, schedule your jobs, market your company, get leads into the business, get reviews after the work is done, and we help service companies do all of that. And then also routing and logistics companies. So if you think about like DHL or Peapod, they have to figure out the right way to track all their vehicles and get all the jobs done on time. So our software helps do that too.
Yeah, it's fully customizable.
Customizable, most of it really clients can use out of the box, and
Okay.
it's just so flexible, kind of like a Salesforce thing, right? It's just so flexible that you can do a ton with it. The neat part though is there's the product that we started with, when I started, it's actually a DOS program, now I really do feel it. That was a DOS program, then it moved to a Windows-based product, and then web-based. Over the course of just about 5 years,
Yeah.
that transition happened. But then over the course of time, we also created our own new product that we're launching for other field service companies. So when I say it feels like I've worked at a ton of different companies, that's exactly why, right? We've got one product that we've seen from DOS to web-based to mobile applications, and one we created in-house from scratch. And it's so neat to see that kind of variation of products and clients, and see all these teams build out over time. It's really
Yeah.
cool.
No, that's the exciting thing with technology is it can shift so quickly, right? And
So quickly.
I think I'm interested in the clients that you serve, especially some of the more traditional markets, right? Because I
Yeah.
know, even working in the technology space, sometimes those traditional markets can be tough as far as adoption and utilization and getting them to know, hey, that yellow pad that you keep all your information on is probably not going to work anymore in 2019. How do you guys work with companies like that and kind of get them to adopt this high-tech product?
It's this neat evolution that's happened, because in the beginning, you're right, they totally had index cards and paper calendars, and the conversation would always be about, well, but I have the paper card, so why do I have to put it in a computer, right? We have to kind of educate them on how that can make them more efficient. And then it was, well, why would I want to put it online? Then everyone can see it.
I want to share my day with people.
Right, exactly. Not understanding the security that can be there, that it's okay to be on a SaaS platform. Then we had this shift where they were asking for technology to see if we had it, but they weren't necessarily ready to use it. So they'd say, well, do you have mobile devices? We'd say, yeah, like, well, I'm not ready for that. But I want to make sure you have it for when I am. And now, it's so different now, now just technology is everywhere. It's woven into everything we do, that now they're requiring it. They're such a smarter client. They're such a more tech-savvy client. And we're not so much having to win them over that technology is the right solution to help them be more efficient. It's more, do we have the right mix of services, and do we truly understand their industry in a way that's better than just going with, some kind of generic system out there, which then our background, kind of helped prove that out. We didn't just pop up yesterday. We've been doing this for a hot minute at this point.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting transition. And like Lorenzo, and you guys probably see this too, is it used to be that people didn't think they needed it or they didn't know about it, and so you can come and educate them. Now the client knows so much, so it actually almost adds additional pressure because they're asking for things that you need to be on your toes because they're doing their research, they know your competitors, they know all this sort of stuff.
That's right.
They sometimes think they know.
Or think they know.
Yes.
It might even be the case there.
With
Yes.
power comes great responsibility, and sometimes, yes, the thought process from clients sometimes is that, oh, it's simple to do. It's easy because I'm on Facebook. It's easy to do this on Facebook, or it's easy. And so there's always hurdles. I think it's always hurdles, it's just different. But I remember having those conversations. I'm going to go on the internet, like stuff like that now.
Right.
But they might not, but yes, I remember that because it was
Yeah.
like, yes, you don't have to spend $900 a month with Yellow Pages anymore. You can, feel free to,
Right.
especially if your company starts with the letter A, good. But yeah, there's definitely, it seemed like it was very, 90s based was very like AOL. That was the main thing. Now Facebook is what AOL, my experience was. So I just know that Facebook will go down. However, Facebook's ownership seems to have a vision that AOL did not, which is we need to adjust for when, because in just social ads and stuff, Facebook has dropped dramatically. Instagram is starting to dip. LinkedIn is going up for some reason, but so knowing to be able to shift, just like WorkWave did, like you were saying, different pieces, is important. When you're dealing, so out of 280 employees,
Yep.
would you say it's half millennials, early millennial, 20%? Is it?
It's, our average age is 35, so we're at a pretty good split.
He was gonna say that's old, and I was gonna say that's young.
I was gonna
I was
say.
thinking that was young, actually.
But it's all perspective.
Yeah.
I didn't. I actually, I thought that was maybe a little old for, for tech. I know you guys do some, marketing divisions. And
Right.
that, so.
And it will, because it's, when you think about the mix of industries that we're in and how much we've grown really just in the past 4 or 5 years, it makes sense because you're wanting to have this healthy mix of people right out of school, people that have been in tech for a while, people that have been in different industries, right, and coming over to this and able to lend a fresh perspective. So you don't want to have it weighted where it's just everybody right out of school. It's a little bit of the blind leading the blind, right? But you don't want to also have it where it's everybody that's just kind of going with what they know, right, and what they've done before. So it feels good to have that healthy mix.
How does that play a role with your culture then? Here.
It's interesting actually, because our culture has always been really our foundation of just everything. And one of those things that you often have candidates that come in and say, well, how do you keep everybody engaged in the culture? Everybody looks so happy walking around. I'm like, well, I can't dictate that, right? I can't march around and say, this is going to be a good culture.
You'd be happy.
We have an open bar.
Smile. It's because it's everybody there that wants to be at a good culture. And it's an interesting thing that happens when you interview people and they say, I want to be somewhere where everyone walks around and they're happy to be here. I want to be somewhere where everybody's leaned in and loves what their job is. So that dynamic of, how old people are, gender, all of that doesn't really even seem to play a part because everybody's coming from a more, kind of organic state of, I just want to be somewhere where everybody's happy and they like their job. And that then feeds into a culture where everybody's wanting to reach out and talk to each other and meet up in the kitchen and go out for happy hours. And they do it all on their own. It's not me sitting there saying, happy hour, 2 o'clock.
How much has that shifted, maybe, at least in the last, 20 years from, now I think that there's more of an emphasis on culture, right? And
There is.
community aspect of it.
Yeah, I think for us there always has been. It's been one of those things that's helped us kind of separate out from the pack a little bit. And every company says they care about culture, but I think, the fact that our voluntary attrition rate has always been less than 5%. It's a great place to be at. Referrals are the biggest way that we get people in the door. It's just this energy there that you can't quite
It starts
put your
with the top.
finger on.
It starts,
It does. It always does,
Yeah.
right? It has to be something where, at every level of the company, especially at the top, they care about the people that are there. And we were really small. It was easy to just turn and talk to each other and all be on the same page. And we went through those struggles as we started to get larger of, I can't just turn and everybody know what's going on. We have to have new ways of communicating and company intranets, and we need to do activities together and minute-to-minute challenges and all kinds of stuff just to create opportunities for people to get together. So we've had to be more strategic to make sure people know that it's okay to chat at your desks and it's okay to kind of get together and mingle in the kitchen. But I think the thing that hasn't changed is the fact that people just genuinely want to be in that kind of environment. But we just had to put out those efforts, I think, a little more proactively to encourage it, because as you get bigger, it becomes a little more, the potential for people to say, well, this is where it was before and that wasn't allowed. So we're having to, kind of untrain some dynamics of people that have been in other environments where culture wasn't the top priority.
I was actually just listening to another podcast with the CEO of
You were?
Yeah, I know.
And you're
Good.
cheating.
It was with the CEO of
Was it
Patagonia.
Rockstar Podcast?
It was not the rest.
Oh,
I'm
that was
sorry.
right.
It was the CEO of Patagonia, and he was on there saying he was talking to somebody about company culture and things like that. And they're like, "Oh, that's a great idea. We want to incorporate it in our business." He goes, "Well, you need to start at that back on employee one. You really you should have done that from the start. Now's a little late in the game. So I feel like in order to have this company culture today, it probably had to start back when there was."
It did,
handful.
yeah, it's true, because then, and there's so many of them, that, there's a group of us that are all celebrating our 20 years this year, so you have that right foundation, but you have to keep adding to it, right? If it were just the group of us from 20 years ago there and everybody else felt differently, it wouldn't sustain itself. You do need that, continue to add people to the culture that care about it moving forward too. And the other interesting thing that I've seen over time is people that, maybe during the interview, they were coming because it was the right job opportunity for them. They loved the team dynamic, location work, they want to get out of working in the city, whatever their motivators were. And they weren't necessarily thinking the culture was much different from where they were before. Then I'll see them a couple of weeks after being in the office, they're like, I didn't realize how much it matters to be somewhere where everybody just wants to support each other and they care. And we even go through this whole onboarding program where everybody that comes through, they spend a week or so getting to know every department, they learn about each department, what they do a little mission with the department, so everybody gets to figure out a little advertising thing, write a line of code, so they really kind of feel ingrained with each group. So it's even just stuff like that, that helps the culture keep moving forward, because you're helping them right off the bat build connections with each other, not just who they sit next to when they walk in the door.
Yeah, I think that's so important, and I talk to these guys a lot. So I used to work at Fast Company and used to write obviously a lot about company culture, and they did a great job with it. But I think there was also now this expectation because of publications like that of saying, what's this Google culture? Do you guys have nap pods?
Right.
Do you guys have hammocks? Do you have ping pong tables, right?
Yeah.
So we interviewed an engineer a while back, and started with a phone interview, and that was the first question. What do you guys have for amenities? Do you have this? And I was taken aback because I didn't think that was really the priority. Maybe
Right.
the priority of culture is, people are they passionate there, are they happy, whatever it might be.
Right.
But I am seeing some of the younger generation that almost have that expectation. We'll get into Bell in a minute because fortunately we work in Bell where we can borrow some of those. But has that been an experience for you where there is a little bit of expectation on that?
A little bit, and there's been some things we tried that worked and some things we didn't. So like in our space now, we have a ping pong table, we have 2 game rooms, a basketball game, and those are great because they're a great way to blow off steam and have people kind of get together if they're, staying late or just need a break during the day, whatever. So those things have been great, There's been others we tried where, like, you'll see it at Google and Zappos, they have like just long tables, right? So everybody just works at open table spaces. And we tried that with our engineers and they said, this is horrible. This is rough, we have no
Takes
privacy.
a certain type of person. Yeah.
Right, we have no privacy,
Good job.
Conversations are going on, I can't block it out just to focus on what I'm doing. And we tried it, but then when we came here, we said, okay, lesson learned. Let's go to a format that works better for us. So it's not always this carbon copy thing where you can say, oh, well, it works there, so
Right.
it must work here. But yeah, there's a bit of that. The aesthetics they lure people in, without a
Right.
doubt. You see people that walk by or say, I saw the pictures online, or somebody told me, here's what you have in the office. But that only lasts so long, right? Day 4.
Before you played enough basketball or ping pong,
They hit high score.
Yeah.
And now it's actually time to move on to work, and
Yeah.
it starts to stall out a little bit.
I wonder if the asking about the amenities is any different than when I would interview and ask about vacation or benefits.
It ties
It's
into it.
It's really what's
It
perspective
is.
to them, right? Because they assume now it's been ingrained so long that benefits are part of it.
Yep.
It's only 2 weeks vacation, what? Like that. But, and also, I always go back to whenever I'm talking to a client and they ask me, or a potential new client, they say, how much does it cost? It's because they don't know what else to ask. So, you don't know, it does sound strange for for that guy to ask you, or that person to ask you that. But to them, it's perspective. It's sort of like, when you create a culture, there's the concept of you may speak to, Kelly may speak to one person, and what's important to them is not important to another.
Right.
So, and it leads into, I saw a article on LinkedIn today, and it seems to get a lot of steam about how this one lady in HR says she's never hired anybody who has not sent a thank you email.
I saw that.
Okay, so my rage started going a little bit.
Me
Like-
too. Like, that's crazy.
Now, I do remember that it was, I would go to, when I was early on in the world of working for somebody else, I would bring the thank you letter card with me, and then when I left, I put it in the mailbox.
Smart.
So, but that was kind of like protocol par for the course. And I read her, the lady's article about the thank you email. I've been doing it for 10 years. If you don't, we don't hire you. And, you know, it blew up with anti-everything, right? And I'm trying to think about it, like, and then I saw one, somebody wrote, well, you know, what happened to the fact of writing a thank you? And I'm like, writing a thank you, emailing it, texting it, sliding into your DMs, it's where it's coming from, right?
Right.
This notion of having to write a letter, like it's so romantic, I mean, that's great. If, you know, I'm 68 and I live on a beach, okay, I'll write letters. But like, so it started making me think about like the notion of someone who thinks that sending a thank you is as polite and as proper as possible is so not seeing the forest with the trees, because you don't know. I mean, that person, you could have left 10 people on the street that are just fantastic people.
Right.
But they don't know that. They don't know the protocol. They don't think it's as important. Doesn't mean they can't be great workers, they can't be great people. So it
Right.
just seems very narrow, no depth to just cutting somebody off right off the bat.
Yeah, I think it's rather dismissive of the talent you could have in front of you.
I mean, it's nice if you get it, and it probably would make you stand out, right? But it doesn't mean that you're not a
Right.
good employee or potentially a good employee. It's just like the person who called and asked about the amenities. To them, it's perspective. They don't know what to ask. They don't kind of know. So it's just very judgmental sometimes. 20 years ago, 30, 40 years ago, I'm sure it was par for the course.
You need the formal letter.
Just like it's still part of for the course not to show up, hopefully in like, you know, shorts and flip flops on an interview.
Right.
Unless you go to a surf
You
school.
never.
There's certain protocol. Well, yeah, you know, and the society will judge it, right?
Right.
It'll be what's normal. Right now, I can tell you that when I used to work at CompUSA, this would be maybe dressed down. This, especially with the, well, in the 90s, it was ripped, but we knew how to rip jeans real then.
They were all.
The real way, not
They're
prefabricated
authentic.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're actually
Hey,
nicer
actually,
than I do.
yeah.
Yeah. Wrangler's best.
Jenko?
No. By the way, and where are we again? I think you said it, but you said it quick today.
We are in the design lab here at Bell.
With-
NPZ Design,
Yes.
Palace spot.
Okay,
She
all
was
right.
nice enough to let us use
Okay.
it.
Kelly, where did you grow up?
Point Pleasant, Borough,
Ah,
Okay, Jersey.
Jersey.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Still in the
Really nice.
still in the area?
Yes, in
Okay.
Tom's River now. So.
Tom's River. Okay. College, school.
I went away to school for 1 year. I thought I got to get out of Jersey, and then after a year, because I went to in Boston, I went to Leslie, which is this really small 500 student all girl, which I did not realize.
I.e. no
School.
internet.
I know, right? Yeah, exactly. There wasn't much Googling available at that point, and it was actually right next to Harvard, so really cool, you know, just beautiful area to be in, but it wound up being a bit of a commuter school, so I said, oh, this isn't
One
fun
building.
on the
Right.
week.
One building?
Yeah, it was like, well, one dorm, you know, 4
Gotcha.
buildings themselves. Cool area, but just wasn't me, you know, I wasn't a city person, even though Cambridge isn't necessarily the city.
Yeah.
That was city for me,
Yeah.
compared to Point Beach.
Did you just choose primarily on the location? I mean, how did you choose?
No, I got a decent chunk of money to
Okay.
go, and I was going for education. Thought I wanted to be a teacher, so I thought, well, between almost full ride and
Yeah.
going for education, this is perfect. And after a year, and they had over 100 inches of snow, I said, I gotta get out.
You thought Jersey was big.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't realize how good I had it. I came back and then went to Georgian Court, and then got my degree there. Switched over to psychology along the way, so I have my degree in psychology from Georgian Court. support.
She's judging all of
I was
us
gonna
right
say.
now.
Why?
Yes, you have psychology degrees.
Oh.
So-
Oh my God,
I
did you
studied
tell?
psychology too.
Oh, you did too?
Criminal law,
Oh, there you go.
yeah, but I got kicked out of
Nice.
college. Yeah. William Patterson, flunky. Yeah, were you during the big dig as well? Was that going on back then?
Mm-mm.
No, it was in early 2000. Okay.
Yeah, that was
That was when they
yeah.
basically did the whole bridges and stuff like that.
Okay, so that was,
Like that.
yeah. That
You
was-
didn't transfer to like a Red Sox fan or anything?
No.
Good.
No, I'm Mets.
Wow, that's.
All right, I like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Sat on the right
The
side
question
of the
there you
table.
go. Yes. And so you studied psychology here,
Correct.
here in Jersey.
Yep.
And do you remember when at WorkWave, the first big WorkWave client, like, holy, we got this.
Yeah, well, there's been a few, so depending on our
Speak
size.
badly about any of them
Right.
that are out of business.
No, it was actually, there's still a client now. And it was awesome to land them for a few reasons. One, because they really cared about the customer experience, and one of the reasons why they're actually a local New Jersey company. And one of the reasons why we were excited to land them is because they cared so much about the customer experience, and that was what they loved about us, was that we cared about the customer experience too. And the owner actually wrote this book about delivering great customer experience and mentioned us in the book. So
Very cool.
I'm like, wow, this is so cool, because this isn't only this big, pest control company in New Jersey, but they actually appreciate us for what we're trying to do for all of our clients. So yeah, that felt like a moral win.
Was that early 2000s?
That was like 98, 99, like right when I had started.
How many employees were there?
I think that we were around 15.
15.
How'd you win the big fish, the big client?
So from there, it was this, we're actually more in like small to mid-sized clients, so it's been this evolution over time of, in the pest control industry in particular, there's this group of clients that are, you've got like your top 100 in really any industry. So as we started getting a couple, it was really that word of mouth about the customer service experience of us answering on the first ring. The original owner used to go to trade shows and say, you could call my office right now and my support team will answer on the first ring. And we would, so not just because he was at a show, but that's just what we did every time. So doing that over and over again and really just caring about that part, it became this word of mouth in the industry. And then we kind of took over rather quickly. So, but it was always that thing, I feel like no matter whether it was the original owner or the CEOs we've had over time, it's always been this thought of, so what's the next thing to do, right? Kind of staying 2 steps in front. And with each part though, it's been this quite the journey of trying to anticipate what they need and figure out how to handle a larger client and but still cater to these small mom and pop companies that need
Sure.
us too, which is a delicate balance. It's a tricky part along the way.
I love that side though, is because now culture is actually helping you win clients, right?
Exactly,
So that's something
right.
I think people think about
And
culture.
talent,
Yeah, it's culture is the talent side, right? Which is where
Right.
you work, because we need to attract the best talent. But all of a sudden, you have culture who a company is saying, "I'm working with you because you have a customer first culture," which also goes through the whole organization. And even Tony Shea at Zappos is the big proponent of that, right? But
Right.
this whole company was a customer service company that just happened to sell shoes, right?
Right.
But people loved doing business with them because they were so customer friendly.
He
Right.
doesn't even like shoes.
He doesn't even like shoes. He owns one pair of shoes.
I
Yeah.
listened to that 9-hour audiobook.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah.
Delivering happiness, right?
Yes, I did listen to that. You should do a marketing campaign where you just start throwing ping pong balls at the table and say, yes, we got the goddamn ping pong.
Right.
Yes. You want foosball?
It's
We got
here,
that.
it's here.